The VapePassion Show, episode 63. In this episode, we're going to do a juice review for Naked 100's Lava Flow, and then we're going to talk about a quick update on HR 1136's new co-sponsors, a preview of the Icon RDA by Mike Vapes and Vandy Vape, LiPo versus lithium-ion batteries and breaking in LiPos, new California vape taxes hitting this week, and Dr. Brad Rodu dispelling the biggest vape myths in 25 minutes. Hey, welcome back to the VapePassion Show. This is episode 63, and I'm recording this on Sunday, April 2nd. So I was digging through my old fishing backpack this week, which I haven't used in probably 10 years, and I came across a surprise. I found a 10-year-old piece of beef jerky, a handful of Jolly Ranchers, which I used to be obsessed with, and a nearly full pack of Cools cigarettes. I thought that was crazy. It brought back both good and bad memories. The good memories were of fishing with my brother and some of my friends. We used to go fishing all the time. I used to just love sitting on the lake and smoking cigarettes early in the morning, just hanging out with everybody. Well, at some point I went vegan and I stopped fishing altogether, and I haven't fished since then. I'm not vegan anymore, but I still don't fish. Anyway, like I said, it also reminded me of the bad memories of being a smoker. And like most smokers, you love smoking, but you also hate it. You know it's destroying your health. You know it makes you stink. You know everyone around you hates it. And you know that if you don't quit someday, you're going to die because of it. But it's not easy to quit. I remember thinking that I would never quit. I tried so many times, once even for 6 months. I think I maybe even stopped for 9 months at one point, and I still ended up going back. Smoking addiction was a nightmare, and I'm so grateful that I decided to try an electronic cigarette back in 2010. I honestly think that it saved my life and was one of the best things to ever happen to me, as I'm sure many of you listening also feel. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. But last week actually really sucked for me. As you probably know, I have a website at VapePassion.com because I mention it all the time. I also have a few other websites that I don't really update a whole bunch anymore in various niches like health and fitness, video games, and new technology, and a couple of others. But my sites have suffered various hacks over the past few years, which are always extremely time-consuming and stressful to fix. But, you know, that's the problem with WordPress. But anyway, so I've been dealing with a particularly bad hack for a few months now, which if you visited my site, you'll have noticed in extremely slow loading times. But last week, I've had the biggest hack I've seen yet. I think it's the same hack that I've had. It's just that these guys just really took it to the next level. And it took down every site on my server. So I just couldn't figure out how to bring them back. And I spent a ton of time trying to fix the problems. And I finally decided that I was just going to move servers and migrate all of my websites slowly over time to try and fix the issues. So all weekend I've been dealing with moving VapePassion.com from GoDaddy to DreamHost with all sorts of issues like images not working, redirect loop errors, my email not working, DNS updates, and updating the SSL certificate. So just a big headache of technical issues. Anyway, I got the site nearly to where it was before the migration, and it's so much faster now. So if you visit my site now, it should be much better. So yeah, that's been my week. The weekend, though, has been pretty nice. So I had a pretty relaxing day yesterday, and today, which is Sunday, the day I'm recording this, we went to a kite festival in Arvada, Colorado. We've been doing that kite festival for 3 years now, and it's always a really great time. And this is the first year that we actually thought ahead a little bit, and we bought some kites from Target a few weeks ago, rather than getting to the event and paying 6 times the price from one of the vendors there. It was a lot of fun, and it was really awesome because this was the first year, maybe even the first time in my entire life, that I actually got a kite so high up in the air that I ran out of string. Now, granted, it was just a cheap Target kite. It was from the movie Frozen, so it didn't have a lot of string to begin with. But you know, it was pretty high up there and higher than everyone else's in my area. So other than the professional guys down in more of the competitive area, but it was pretty cool. It felt like a real accomplishment. But and next week there's another kite festival. I don't know if we're going to it, but it's not far from our house, so we might be doing that again, and hopefully there's a lot of wind. That should be fun if we do decide to go. But anyway, let's get into some of the stuff this week. So first I want to do an e-juice review of Naked 100's Lava Flow. So you can get this stuff for around $20 for a 60 ml bottle from various sites online. It's a 70-30 VG/PG ratio e-juice, and you can get it in nicotine strengths of 0, 3, 6, and 12. And this comes from the guys at theschwartzeliquid.com, and they hooked me up with this bottle at a convention last year for the purpose of review, and I'm finally getting around to doing it. So their description of Lava Flow says, Transport your taste buds with Lava Flow, a flavor profile that fuses sweet and rich strawberries with 2 island staples of refreshing coconut and the sugary tang of pineapple. So the primary flavors here are strawberry, coconut, and pineapple. So let's see if I can get that. It definitely has a tropical smell. I'm not sure I can smell strawberry, but it's a very fruity flavor. It smells very good. So for this review, I'm using the iStick 100 watt TC with the Velocity RDA on top, and it's built at 0.46 ohms, and I'll be starting at 68 watts. So strawberry, coconut, and pineapple. I taste some of the strawberry and some tropicalness. I can't really pull out the coconut or pineapple flavors, but it's very fruity, very tropical. It's more like a candy-ish flavor to me, and it's I do think it's really good. This is a really good flavor. If you like sweet candy flavors, you'll probably like it. And it does have a bit of that tropicalness. I think it's more strawberry. Yeah, it's pretty good. Naked 100, they seem to put out some pretty good e-juices. I've only tried, I think this is only the second one I've tried, but I like them both a lot. So seem to be a pretty good company. So you can get this in various places. I've seen it on breezy.com for $19.99 for a 60 ml bottle. So that's a pretty good price, I think. All right, and this week, I don't really have a beer pairing. I couldn't think of anything to pair with this one, but this is a salted caramel brown ale from Horny Goat Brewing Company. And they don't have this listed anywhere on their website. So I don't know all the details, but I can tell you what the label, what the can says. Inspired by French-style salted caramels, this roasted brown ale is anything but typical. The malt backbone begins with subtle flavors of coffee, fruit, and roast. Wonderful flavors of slightly sweet caramel are brought to life by the addition of Himalayan sea salt. That sounds good. To the boil and the perfect marriage of salty and sweet. This beer will challenge your palate and leave you coming back for more. Sounds pretty good. So I've already poured it here. Oh, man, that's sweet. You can really taste the caramel in that. That's a really good flavor. Salted caramel. I don't know if I've ever had a beer that tasted that sweet. That's really good. So like I said, I don't really have anything to pair with it this week. I just didn't have time to do any research or think about it. But so I'm just going to pair it with the Naked 100 Lava Flow. I think that's a little too much, actually. That beer is so sweet and Lava Flow is so sweet. It's just overpowering. So not a good pairing. But yeah, great beer. And Horny Goat Brewing Company, they're based out of Wisconsin. So if you're in that area, go check them out for sure. This is a really good one. All right, well, let's get into the topics this week. So first up, a quick update on HR 1136's new co-sponsors. So HR 1136, the bill from Congressman Tom Cole and Congressman Sanford Bishop, that's designed to save the vaping industry, has quite a few co-sponsors now. So as of March 27th, there are now 34 co-sponsors on the bill. The majority of these co-sponsors are Republicans, as we would expect, although there are 4 Democrats on here, which is great to see. It's moving a little slow, but much faster than HR 2058 did, which is really nice. As you might know, HR 2058 was basically the same bill as HR 1136 with a few changes, but HR 1136 had to be reintroduced when the new congressional session started. And I actually did a quick comparison of co-sponsors on each bill, and I see that HR 1136 has 6 co-sponsors that didn't originally co-sponsor HR 2058. So that's good to see. But I also counted about 49 HR 2058 co-sponsors that are not yet co-sponsoring HR 1136. So if we got all of the original co-sponsors to also co-sponsor this new one, we'd get a big jump start. We can't get all of them because some of these people are no longer in office or in their same positions, but there's still a lot of opportunity from what I can see. And I actually sent an email to CASA.org asking them to put together a call to action or a letter of some sort to reach out to all of these co-sponsors or all the representatives, asking them to co-sponsor HR 1136. I don't know if CASA will actually do it, but I hope they do. And I actually received an email from CASA this morning, and Alex Clark from CASA sent me an email, responded, and he said that they actually do have something planned, a big call to action, I think tomorrow, Monday. So I don't know if it's actually to get the original co-sponsors or anything like that, but it's just a big push to get more people supporting this bill. So keep an eye out for that. And now I want to do a quick preview of the Icon RDA from Mike Vapes and Vandy Vape. I don't actually own it because it's not out yet at the time I'm recording this, and I didn't get one for review or anything like that. But they're some of Mike Vape's closest vape friends. They all have one, and I've watched a few reviews, and I watched Mike Vape's his preview of it, and It looks really cool. So this new RDA from Mike Vapes, one of the most popular reviewers on YouTube, is in partnership with Vandy Vape. And Vandy Vape was created by Stefan Zhang, who also played a big role in creating products like the Griffin RTA, the Tsunami, and the Avocado, all very popular products known for producing really good flavor. So Mike's new RDA is called the Icon RDA, and it will have just released by the time you see this. It looks pretty sweet, and they thought of everything for this one. And I think that's really the benefit of working with someone like Mike Vapes. He knows the community so well and what people want in an atomizer, especially in an RDA. So it's made of 303 stainless steel. It's 24 millimeters in width and 23.5 millimeters in height. It comes with a total of 3 different goon-style drip tips. It also has a drip tip adapter if you want to use your own 510 drip tip. The inside of the top cap is conical, designed to enhance flavor. It has side airflow rather than bottom airflow, which helps to prevent leakage, especially for people who tend to over drip. And Vandy Vape is calling the airflow slots hedge airflow, which they say produces more flavor. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they say. It has a squonking pin for people who use bottom-fed mods, squonker devices, so that's really cool. The build deck and 510 pin are 24 karat gold plated. It's a 2-post deck with staggered holes, which not only looks badass, but it also makes it easier to install coils, because coils often have one lower and one higher lead. So now the leads will be able to fit right in without you having to bend up the coil. And the build deck also has a ton of room from what I'm hearing. It was designed to hold pretty much any size of build you could want to throw in there. You can do single coil and dual coil builds and adjust the airflow for whichever build you prefer. The juice well is 7 millimeters deep, so it can hold quite a bit of e-liquid. And they've added an insulator to the end of the 510 pin to make it a hybrid safe RDA. And finally, it has electroplated paint, which I've never heard of, but looked it up, and yeah, it's paint that will not come off with wear. It might wear off eventually, but it's going to last a lot longer than a lot of the stuff that we have on the market today. So vendors should have gotten it in by March 27th, according to Mike, and released it on April 1st in retail shops. The price will be $30.99 for the stainless steel model, $32.99 for the black model, which is very affordable for such a high quality and stylish atomizer. I think this is an amazing price. And from the looks of this RDA, I would expect to pay something closer to $60 to $80. This is an RDA that I definitely want to pick up. All right, the next topic here, LiPo versus lithium-ion batteries and breaking in LiPos. So most of the devices that the majority of vapors use are lithium-ion batteries, most commonly 18650s, but there are some devices that use LiPo batteries. LiPo or lithium polymer batteries are practically the same as lithium-ion batteries. What many people believe is that LiPo batteries have a polymer architecture, but this isn't totally true. So according to batteryuniversity.com, most of the LiPo batteries that are used in any industry are actually lithium-ion polymer batteries. And this is because solid polymer batteries have poor performance at room temperature. They never really took off. So moving forward, I'm going to refer to LiPos as the lithium-ion polymer version. So there are some differences in the electrolytes that lithium-ion and LiPo batteries use. LiPo batteries have slightly higher energy and can also be made thinner or flatter than lithium-ion batteries. And this results in less weight as well. As far as charging and discharging characteristics go, LiPo and lithium-ion are identical. The size and weight are pretty big benefits to using LiPo batteries. So if you're considering buying a LiPo battery device, or if you already own one, such as the DNA 200 or the DNA 250, you might be wondering if there are any special requirements for maintaining peak performance. And as always, Battery Mooch has come to the rescue via a post on Reddit. So he mentions that some people, particularly in the RC community, who are big consumers of LiPo batteries, believe that LiPo battery packs need to be charged and discharged several times before they reach full potential. Mooch performed a test on 3 LiPo battery packs where he charged and discharged them 5 times each and found that in the end, there was no increase in capacity or an increase in its voltage. His test found that not only does the performance not peak, but that the charging and discharging cycles did what you would expect from a lithium-ion battery. It ages the battery, and it took 5 cycles off of its life. And that's about it. So Mooch mentioned that there are some unknowns in his tests. For example, if the LiPo packs were not fully formed at the factory, or how long they were stored before being used. So his tests aren't proof that cycling these batteries, charging and discharging, doesn't work, but it does look like these charging and discharging cycles don't do anything. All right, the next topic. So new California vape taxes hit this week. If you're a vapor in California, you'll see price increases starting this week. You might recall that Prop 56 passed in California during the elections last November. This proposition is also known as the Tobacco Tax Increase Initiative. It passed with an overwhelming 64.43% of voters in favor of the tax increase. This new tax increase raises the taxes on cigarettes to $2 per pack, with equivalent increases on other tobacco products and electronic cigarettes. According to halocigs.com, this new tax will increase the cost of vaping products by up to 67%, resulting in a $20 bottle of e-juice costing $30 to $35. Now that's in their words. I believe this 67% number that Halo was reporting is what the rumor was when the bill originally passed. It's not accurate anymore as far as I can tell, although I don't know if it's still possible for the taxes to reach that at some point in the future, which might be why they're still reporting it that way. According to Tasty Vapor, a California-based e-liquid manufacturer, all liquids containing nicotine will have a 27.3 excise tax for California residents, but this excludes 0 milligram nicotine e-liquids, and orders from California businesses that go out of state are also not affected. The California State Board of Equalization's special notice about this states that vaping products are exempt from the tax as long as they are sold independently of liquids containing nicotine. Retailers and wholesalers must also pay a floor stock tax, meaning additional tax on anything in their possession and in inventory. And due to pressure on increasing the taxes even further, it's expected that the excise tax will increase more on July 1st. The final percentage hasn't been figured out yet, and this might be where Halo's 67% number comes from. This is an excise tax, which means that the consumer is not responsible for it, but the vendor is. The first business to sell the product within the state of California is responsible for the taxes. So for example, if a vape shop in California gets e-juice from a manufacturer in Florida, the California shop is responsible for paying the taxes. This is going to result in higher costs for the vape shop, which will be passed on to the consumer, unfortunately. And like the crazy Pennsylvania vape tax, if you order vape products from out of state, you, as the consumer, are responsible for paying those taxes. There's no circumventing these taxes if you are a California resident. It's estimated that this new tax will result in more than 1,000 vape shops closing within the state, as fewer customers will be able to afford these tax increases. Some manufacturers are likely to move out of the state as well. It looks like DIY might be the best option for California residents at this point. 0 milligram e-juice is exempt from the taxes, so that means you can still buy affordable e-juice, but you'll have to add your own nicotine. And liquid nicotine is included in this new tax law, so you will need to pay higher taxes on it, but it's still cheaper to pay the tax on a bottle of nicotine rather than on every bottle of e-liquid you buy. All right, let's go on to the next topic. So Dr. Brad Rodu dispels the biggest vape myths in a 25-minute presentation. Now this is a great presentation from Dr. Brad Rodu of the University of Louisville, speaking about the misconceptions that people have of vaping and how the government's regulations can kill off an innovative product that can save lives. And there's a ton of great information in his presentation, and I highly recommend listening to the full presentation if you have time. But there's one short slide that really caught my attention. So a couple of weeks ago, I was at my mom's house when the subject of vaping came up, and she has a hard time understanding or believing me that vaping isn't smoking. She calls it smoking, even after I tell her that it doesn't produce smoke, that it's vapor. And then she always says something like, well, it looks like smoke. And then she'll say passive aggressive things like, you can't quit, can you? You know, stuff like that. And what's funny about this is I didn't even vape the whole time I was there. I was there for about 4 hours. I didn't vape at all. And for some reason, you know, she still thinks that I can't quit or that I have to have it all the time, but I don't know. And I didn't vape because I was worried about what someone might think of me. It was because I didn't need to. And that's just me. I know that a lot of you listening out there do need to vape to keep you away from smoking, but I haven't smoked in so long that I don't need it. I like it, but I don't need it. Today, for example, I didn't vape all day from morning until I started recording the show. So I haven't vaped in, 12 hours. And the only reason I vaped was just because I wanted to do an e-juice review for the show. So yeah, but I'm just pointing these things out because my mom is a great example of people who refuse to listen to anyone other than Dr. Oz. If mainstream media says it's bad, then it's bad. Anyway, if you have someone in your life like this, point them to this presentation from Dr. Brad Rodu and explain to them that he's an expert, not just some hack reading from a teleprompter.
Now, I do want to mention nicotine. Nicotine is the reason people smoke. It is an addictive drug, but it's no more dangerous to use nicotine than it is my favorite drug, caffeine. Okay? Both of them are pleasurable. They enhance concentration, performance. They give us a sense of well-being. They elevate our mood. They don't intoxicate us. They're addictive. We can use them long-term because they're not linked to any disease. They don't drive diseases. Nicotine doesn't cause any of the diseases that kill smokers. And just like we consume caffeine in cola drinks and coffee and tea, we can consume nicotine safely if we get it away from the smoky, dirty delivery system. And that's what e-cigarettes do.
And this is the reason I vape. Even though I'm no longer addicted to nicotine or tobacco, I use nicotine because it makes me feel good. It wakes me up, it improves my focus, and it's as safe as coffee when it's separated from smoking. At least that's my opinion of it. In Brad Rodu, he also covers some other myths about formaldehyde dangers, gateway smoking in teens, poisonous toxin reports, normalizing smoking, and so on. And in all of these cases, he shows that the truth is in the data. If you look in the data, you see that many of these negative claims that anti-vaping groups say are actually not true. His full presentation lasts about 26 minutes and is well worth sitting down and watching if you have the time. Okay, so that's all I have for this week. You'll find the show notes for this episode on VapePassion.com. Just do a search for episode 63. If you want to support the show, consider donating to my Patreon page at patreon.com/VapePassion. You can follow me on Twitter at VapePassion, and I'm also on Facebook if you want to leave me a comment. If you like this weekly show, please consider giving me a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. You can also subscribe to the podcast version of the show on either iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. If you'd like to get notifications of new reviews or of the show, you can sign up to receive my weekly email on VapePassion.com. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to email me anytime at alex@VapePassion.com. All right, I'll see you next week.